Welcome back to another episode of the Philia Sophia Sketchbook. In today's drawing, we're going to be dealing with some of the most powerful archetypes or symbols that you can encounter within the collective unconscious. Today we're going to be talking about angels and dragons. Let's get into it. For those unfamiliar with this technique, let me quickly explain the basics. I start by drawing random lines and shapes all over the page. I do this until I see something within the random scribbles that really jumps out in my imagination. This sudden burst of ideas is how the unconscious communicates. So by scribbling, it allows my unconscious to make an association that I wouldn't have consciously chosen beforehand. And from there, I can just follow it wherever it wants to go. I try not to judge the idea and just go with really the first thing that grabs my attention. I just assume that the unconscious is far more intelligent and wise than my conscious self, so I trust that it will lead me towards an interesting and meaningful creation. This drawing did not disappoint because it focused on some of the most powerful archetypes within the collective unconscious and triggered a very interesting story to unfold in my mind. The image is of a great dragon. It is the main focus of this illustration. And as an archetypal character, dragons have been making an appearance in the human imagination for thousands of years. While a real physical dragon has probably never existed, but the archetype of the dragon is very real within the collective unconscious. To divert just a little bit, a very interesting theory of why the form of the dragon keeps reappearing is because it is a recombination of the three main kinds of animals that killed and hunted our ancient ancestors for the last few million years while we were evolving in the wild. Those would be venomous snakes, large birds of prey, and large hunting animals like cats, bears, or wolves. All of these creatures have been killing our ancient kin for millions and millions of years, and if you were to recombine them in the imagination, you're always going to get something like a dragon. But regardless of how they first emerge, across the globe you will find stories of dragons and dragon-like creatures. Some of them are good, some are evil, some are just kind of neutral animal characters, but if you really zero in on Western mythology, they usually play a very negative or destructive role. Now, the angel is another archetypal figure that has been making an appearance in the human imagination for thousands of years. They can take many different forms, but regardless of how they look, they are supernatural beings that do the will of the creator of the universe. Like dragons, angels play many different roles in our mythic imagination, but they are mostly portrayed as good and holy creatures. So seeing these two figures clash immediately makes me think of the yin and yang symbol, good and evil, two opposites locked in an eternal duel for dominance. I think the angel and the dragon fit this symbol perfectly. Now that I've gone over some of the archetypes in this image, here is the narrative that unfolded in my imagination while I was working on it. The story begins with the human figure standing on the cliff, watching this clash between the dragon and the angel begin right in front of him. He is a talented shaman who has been serving his tribe for many years. He has become known far and wide for the things he can do. He has healed the sick. He's fought against demons that plagued and possessed innocent people, and he's communicated with angels and spirits to guide his tribe in hard times. He's done so much that the spirit world has started to take notice of his unusual strength and abilities, and so he's begun to attract demons and dragons who wish to test their strength against him. A particular ancient and powerful dragon has come to the land and has offered protection from all the other demons and dragons, but only if this wizard will share his power and knowledge with the dragon. But by share, he means becoming a dragon slave, someone who surrenders their free will and is eternally bound to follow the commands of his dragon master. If he refused this offer of eternal enslavement, the dragon made it very clear that he would be offended and he would retaliate with great violence against his people. So he's really trapped between two impossible choices, and he's not sure what to do. But the dragon gave him 3 days to make a decision. So he used that time to inform his people of what happened and to try and seek out assistance from anywhere he can get it. And he's answered actually by a pair of angels who offer him a way to accept the dragon's bargain, but to not become his eternal slave. They teach him about the cloaked name of the dragons. They reveal that all dragons have a secret, hidden name that they guard from all others. Because if someone says this name, the dragon and the speaker become like one being, bound through a divine bond. The dragon will be forced to shed one of his scales and fashion it into a cloak for the speaker. From then on out, the wearer of the cloak will have access to all the power and knowledge of the dragon, but the dragon will have the same. So instead of becoming his slave, the speaker becomes his equal. They explain that the secret name is written somewhere on the body of the dragon, often hidden under a scale or a horn. When the name is spoken, the cloaking ritual is instantaneous, forever binding the speaker and the dragon. So the angels offer to help the wizard fight the dragon until his cloaked name can be discovered. The wizard sees no other option to save himself from slavery and his people from destruction. So he agrees to speak this name and fuse himself with the dragon. This scene we are seeing now is the beginning of the battle where the dragon has appeared and begun to clash with the angels, and they are hoping to find this name on the body of the dragon. I really like this story, and I will certainly be revisiting it in the very near future. But anyway, that's for future videos, and I thank you very much for watching this video. Please help me out with the algorithm by leaving me a like and a comment. I do love having conversations with you guys in the comment section, so feel free to share any thought you have. I love hearing it. Also, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and please share the video if you can. Thank you very much once again. I'll see you in the next video.